When did you realize you married the wrong person? I should have known something was wrong when Nancy insisted on a courthouse wedding. At the time, I thought she was being practical. We were both 23, just starting our careers, and a big wedding seemed wasteful. Looking back, she was probably just rushing to lock down my inheritance. My parents died in a plane crash when I was young, leaving me a substantial trust fund that would unlock on my 25th birthday. Nancy knew this. She'd ask casual questions about it, always fishing for details about the exact amount. I was too in love to see the red flags. 6 months into our marriage, I noticed small things going missing. First, it was my mom's vintage earrings, then my dad's Rolex. Nancy claimed we'd been robbed, but never wanted to file a police report. Insurance will raise our rates, she'd say. I believed her. Then my grandmother got sick, terminal cancer. She'd raised me after my parents died, and watching her decline destroyed me. Nancy seemed irritated by my grief, constantly complaining about how much time I spent at the hospital. One night, she even said, "Can't you just let her die in peace?" 2 weeks before my 25th birthday, my grandmother took a turn for the worse. Her nurse called at 3 a.m. saying she might not make it through the night. I rushed to wake Nancy, but she wasn't in bed. Her car was gone too. I drove to the hospital alone. When I walked into my grandmother's room, I froze. Nancy was there, sitting beside my barely conscious grandmother, holding papers and a pen. "Just sign here," Nancy was saying softly. "Felix doesn't need all that money. He'll just waste it." My grandmother's frail hand was shaking as she tried to sign what I realized was a transfer of assets. Nancy had waited until my grandmother was drugged on morphine to make her change her will. I didn't say a word. I just recorded everything on my phone. Nancy was so focused on getting that signature, she didn't even notice me for 5 full minutes. When she finally looked up, her face went white. "I can explain," she started, but I was already calling security. The next few weeks were a blur. Police investigations revealed Nancy had been planning this for years. She'd targeted me specifically, tracked my routines, orchestrated our chance meeting at that coffee shop. Everything had been calculated. She'd also been stealing from my grandmother's house this whole time, selling family heirlooms to some shady pawn shop owner she was sleeping with. Turns out I wasn't her first victim either. She'd done this to 2 other wealthy families before me. The real punch to the gut? She was already married. Had been the whole time. Her real husband was in on the scam. He'd been posing as our friendly neighbor, Rick, keeping tabs on my comings and goings. My grandmother pulled through that night. When she was lucid again and I told her everything, she just squeezed my hand and said, "I knew something was off about her. She asked too many questions about your trust fund at our first meeting, but you seemed so happy, I didn't want to ruin it." Nancy got 8 years for attempted fraud and bigamy. Her husband, neighbor, Rick, got 5. The pawn shop owner rolled on them both for a lighter sentence. The craziest part? Last month I got a letter from Nancy in prison. She had the nerve to ask if I'd wait for her. Said we could start fresh, that she'd changed. I sent back a single photo, her booking mugshot. Wrote on the back, "Keep this. It's the only photo you'll have of us." My grandmother's doing better now. We hired a great medical team with the trust fund money, the same money Nancy tried to steal.